Today on Public Eye News, Lake Superior State University announces the award recipients ahead of Great Lakes State Weekend. And later we'll have everything you need to know about the Supreme Court hearings on imposed gun regulations.
Jackson Spencer will have your weather forecast for the next couple days, and later Nate Diamond will have today's sports breakdown. I'm Bradley Seaborg.
And I'm Liam Euland-Joy. This is Public Eye News. Lake Superior State University has announced the 3 alumni set to be honored at their annual awards. Robert Stephen Mulholland, MD, class of 1983, will receive the Outstanding Alumnus Award. Steve Davies, class of 1977, will receive the Kenneth J. Sholdes Award. And Gianna Trotman, class of 2012, will receive the Paul E. Ripley Award for Young Alumni. Alumni Keith Aldridge, Eric Menk, and Chris Nance will also be honored at the awards ceremony. They will be inducted into the LSSU Athletics Hall of Fame for ice hockey, men's basketball, and women's basketball, respectively. Members of the public are welcome to attend the October 19th reception, and spots can be reserved online at the LSSU alumni website. And a Michigan Occupational Safety and Health Administration matching grant is now available to small businesses of 250 employees or fewer. It's called the Workplace Improvement to Safety and Health Program, or MyWish. The maximum amount is $5,000, which can be used to purchase equipment and associated training. The grant program is meant to improve the safety and health of small business employees in the state. It began on October 1st and will continue until funds are depleted, with priority given to employers in OSHA-designated high-hazard industries. For further information about the MyWish grant program and how to apply, visit online at michigan.gov/MIOSHA grants.
The Michigan Gaming Control Board has issued a cease and desist order against Papaya Gaming, an Israeli mobile games company. Papaya offers games that allow players to buy in with a chance to win real-world money. These unregulated and unlicensed gambling offerings are in violation of 4 Michigan gaming laws, including the Lawful Internet Gaming Act, the Michigan Gaming Control and Revenue Act, and the Michigan Penal Code. The MGCB has given Papaya Gaming 14 days to take steps preventing illegal action on their apps, or MGCB will take legal action. Papaya Games offers popular games like Solitaire Cash, 21 Cash, Bingo Cash, and Bubble Cash, which all offer buy-ins for a chance to win real-world money. And U.S. authorities have charged 5 Chinese nationals with lying and trying to cover their tracks after they were found near a remote Michigan military site in August 2023. The 5 were University of Michigan students at the time and are accused of misleading investigators and clearing their phones. Months after the incident, one of the students was caught by border officers with photos of military vehicles taken the night of the event. When the other 4 were interviewed later, they claimed their trip to Michigan was to witness a meteor shower. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Detroit, the 5 are not yet in custody, but they would be arrested should they come into contact with U.S. authorities. And raising the minimum wage has been a highly contested issue across all levels of government. In Lansing, state lawmakers have come to an agreement after a Michigan Supreme Court ruling over the summer. WWJ's Ellie Myers has more. Take a look.
This week, state officials finalized the new minimum and tipped wage schedule through 2030.
What it's going to do is we are going to have to raise our prices between 20 and 30% just to make up for that wage.
Michigan's minimum wage will rise to $12.48 per hour, and the tipped wage will rise to $5.99 an hour. That's a little less than half the standard minimum wage. In the coming years, both will increase.
So that is going to affect small business in this state, and it's going to be damning.
Over the next 5 years, the tipped minimum wage will be phased out, meaning the minimum wage will be the same for workers whether or not they get tips. For business owners, that means higher labor costs.
For small mom and pop restaurants, all of a sudden they go from being prideful and being able to take care of their kids. Now they have to get food assistance or rent assistance.
For Justin Winslow, who serves as president of the Michigan Restaurant and Lodging Association, the next step is asking lawmakers for help.
That's going to come after the election, unfortunately. So we've got this month or so time between now and then in which to continue to communicate, but we're just not going to see any legislative action in the meantime.
Now, some advocacy groups and even some lawmakers have called on the legislature to make changes to protect businesses. But so far, there hasn't been a lot of movement. For now, reporting in Lansing, I'm Elle Myers, CBS News, Detroit.
Now Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with your weather and national news after this break. Stay tuned.
You can't have the United States without the histories of all of the Latino communities.
Connection to culture is so important.
I move and feel in my traditions and my stories.
We do it with love, with respect, and loyalty.
We have changed U.S. history.
Sí se puede.
Welcome back. I'm Jackson Spencer, here to bring you your weather report. Taking a look at the roof cam, it's looking a bit cloudy with some construction on the library, nothing new. Taking a look at the map, in Houghton, it is 58, partly cloudy. Ironwood, 56 and cloudy, and it just looks very cloudy up here in the UP. Iron Mountain, 65, partly cloudy. Menominee, 69, partly cloudy. And then taking a look the east side of the UP, Escanaba, 67, Manistee, 68, Sault Ste. Marie, 64, and in our lovely Marquette, 65. And then we have winds west-northwest at 9 miles per hour with a barometric pressure of 30.02 inches and rising. Taking a look at tonight, it's going to be cloudy with a low of 44, winds west-northwest, 6 miles per hour, and a moon phase of a waxing crescent. Taking a look at tomorrow's weather, it's going to be sunny with a high of 64, low of 46, and winds northwest at 9 miles per hour. And then looking ahead into this weekend, Saturday we have a high of 69, low of 51 with some winds. Sunday also windy, high of 57, low of 44. Then on Monday warms up a little bit with a high of 61, low of 44, and partly cloudy conditions. That's all the weather I have. Back to the news desk.
Well, thank you for that weather update, Jackson. I have to say I'm enjoying these fall conditions, but now it's time for your national news, starting with this. A new court filing in Donald Trump's election interference case was unsealed yesterday. It was composed by Justice Department Special Counsel Jack Smith's team. They say their filing contains evidence proving Trump laid the groundwork to try to overturn the 2020 election before he lost. It also says he knowingly advanced incorrect voter fraud claims and, quote, resorted to crimes, end quote, in a failed effort to hang on to power. Smith's team claims that Trump tried to overturn the election results in a number of targeted states, including Michigan and Wisconsin. Trump's presidential campaign has already responded to the brief. Spokesman Stephen Chung called it falsehood-ridden and unconstitutional. Trump himself, writing on Truth Social, insisted the case would end with his complete victory. The former president has already pleaded not guilty to charges of conspiracy and obstruction. And the Supreme Court is set to hear a case over the constitutionality of regulations on so-called ghost guns. The Biden administration passed a rule in 2022 that prohibits teens and people who can't pass background checks from purchasing kits which can be used to assemble homemade firearms. The Justice Department says these guns have multiplied in recent years, going from fewer than 4,000 in 2018 to almost 20,000 found at crime scenes in 2021. But the new rule limiting their access was challenged by manufacturers and gun rights groups. They say the government overreached by regulating a product that has long been legal. The dispute has made its way up to the nation's highest court, where it will be argued this coming Tuesday. And container gates at the port in Wilmington, North Carolina are now closed, with all cargo vessel operations coming to a standstill. Inflation and shortage concerns continue to climb. With workers on strike, here's Nate Malden of WWAY.
Work at ports across the East and Gulf Coast coming to a halt Tuesday as 25,000 workers go on strike. The International Longshoremen's Association, which represents port workers from Maine to Texas, and the U.S. Maritime Alliance have yet to come to an agreement over contracts. The ILA pushing for a 77% pay increase over 6 years and promises that their jobs will be protected from automation. USMX providing a counteroffer of a 50% pay raise and the protections against automation. But the union is not satisfied.
No contract, no word! No contract, no word!
Greg Washington, president of ILA Local 1426, says he's hopeful for resolution.
This is my people's livelihood, and I want to keep it going. And whatever it takes to keep it going, that's what we want. But we can't work without a contract. So what I'm wanting to happen is they to sit down and knock out a daggone contract, and we can go back to work.
ILA Local 1766 President Charles Seaton echoing concerns over automation.
The ship owners want to automate the gates. We don't want to lose our American jobs. You know, that's pretty simple.
Maritime attorney Lauren Began noted that less than 24 hours into the strike, ships are already left unable to dock.
There's about 80 plus container ships already waiting offshore all along the U.S. East Coast and Gulf Coasts.
But Began says because supply chains anticipated a potential strike, it's unlikely consumers will feel any impact in the short term.
I don't think running over to your grocery store and stocking up is the play right now, because there could be artificial shortages because of that increased buying behavior. You as a consumer are not going to feel anything today. You're likely not going to feel anything tomorrow, and you're probably not going to feel anything by the end of the week.
Those on the picket line say they'll be there as long as it takes.
We've fought for this work ever since we've been in the organization, and we're going to continue to fight for our jobs.
We'll be right back after this break. Stay tuned.
Tune in to the heartbeat of the Upper Peninsula. At Public Radio 90, we're more than just a frequency on your dial. We're your trusted home for national public radio. Let our diverse blend of music be the soundtrack to your day. Public Radio 90, where community comes alive. Tune in and let your imagination soar. Don't miss Weekday with Hans Ahlstrom, Monday through Friday from 3 to 4.
You're listening to member-supported Public Radio 90, WNMU FM.
Welcome back. I'm Nate Diamond with your Public Eye Sports Report. Starting things off with some NMU news. The men's soccer team lost their match against St. Cloud State 2-0 yesterday. St. Cloud State is currently the #1 team in the GLIAC at 5-2, while the Cats dropped to 4-3-1. The box score tells a different story than the final score, though. The team led the game in shots, corner kicks, and overall possession, having 20 shots, 12 corners, and controlled the ball for 70% of the game. According to third-year head coach Alex Fatovich, he likes what he is seeing with his team, being such a close, tough group of guys, and he's looking forward to the rest of the season. The Wildcats will finish out their 4-game homestand on Sunday, October 6th at 3 p.m. against Roosevelt University. Go Cats! And moving things over to the ballpark, the Tigers overcame the Astros in a 5-2 win yesterday, clinching another huge win for the Tigers. After not making an appearance in the playoffs for 10 years, the Tigers swept the Astros yesterday in their best-of-3 series after winning their Tuesday game 3-1. The trip to Houston was a homecoming for Tigers manager A.J. Hinch, who is now the second manager in MLB history to triumph over a team that he previously won the World Series with in their 2017 season. Hinch hopes to do the same with the Tigers, who will take on the 2-seed Cleveland Guardians in a best-of-5 series in the American League Division starting Saturday at Progressive Field in Cleveland. And keeping things on the diamond, over in Milwaukee, the Brewers forced a Game 3 against the New York Mets after winning 5-2 last night. The game was tied up 2-2 until the Brewers pulled ahead with 3 runs coming into the bottom of the 8th inning. The Brewers lost their game Tuesday after a dominant 8-4 performance by the Mets. Milwaukee's manager Pat Murphy has led his team to the postseason 6 out of the last 7 years, but never made a World Series. Milwaukee hopes to change that this season. Game 3 of the Wild Card Series will be played in Milwaukee tonight at 7:08 p.m. And that is all I have for your sports news. Back to the desk with one more story for us.
Thanks for that sports update, Nate. It's a tough break for the men's soccer team. They had such a good team last year, but I think they'll turn it around.
Me too, and as Nate said, they performed very well today. But Brad, I hear you have another story for us today.
Yes, I've got one more. The Lake Superior Art Association will be setting up a challenge exhibit lasting the entire month of October. The exhibit will be in the Peter White Public Library, and the theme is Opposites. Visitors can vote for the People's Choice Award, which will be announced after the exhibit ends, and the exhibit is also free to the public. Well, that sounds like a great event. I'm slightly interested. Are you?
Me too. I went to the DeVos Art Museum recently. It was pretty great. But that's all the time we have left today at Public Eye News. I'm Liam Eulen-Joy.
I'm Bradley Seaborg.
And we'll see you next time.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.